Good morning, children. Today in English in class 11, we continue the lesson Discovering Tat. The saga continues. We had earlier discussed how Howard Carter had discovered the tomb and the mummy of King Tut in 1922. Then the second investigation was carried out in 1968 by an anatomy professor, and he revealed an astonishing fact that beneath the resin that had caked his chest, his breastbone and front ribs were missing. King Tut's demise was a big event, even by the royal standards, because he was the last ruler of his family, and his funeral meant the end of a royal dynasty. But the facts of his death and his consequences are unclear. Now we'll get to know a little more about his ancestors. Amenhotep III, Tut's grandfather, was a powerful pharaoh who ruled for almost 4 decades at the height of 18th dynasty's golden age. Golden age refers to a period where there is specified art or activity at its peak. That is the best period. So now after his death, Amenhotep IV ascended the throne, and he brought in one of the strangest periods in the history of ancient Egypt. The new pharaoh, that is Amenhotep IV, promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk, changed his name to Akhenaten, or servant of the Aten. So this was a major change that he brought about, that he promoted. He wanted people, all the people there, to worship the sun disk, that is Aten, change his name to Akhenaten, or servant of the Aten. That meant he was a very staunch believer of Aten, and he wanted all people to do the same, and moved the religious capital from the old city of Thebes. So that was another major change that he brought about, that the religious capital from the old city of Thebes to the new city of Akhenaten, now known as Amarna. So one is he compelled everybody to follow the practice of worshipping the sun disk, that is Aten, shifted the religious capital also. He further shocked the country. Shock means astonished the people, and people were quite distressed, by attacking Amun, a major god. That is one of the gods that the people used to believe and worship. So he attacked that also, that is god Amun, smashing his images. That is the Amun. He forced people, rather, smashing, that means to break violently into pieces or to destroy, and closing his temples. All this was done with the intention of discontinuing the practice of believing and worshipping Amun. So all this really shocked the people, astonished the people, and it was not a very pleasant time for the people. It must have been a horrific time. That means, said Ray Johnson, that is, the comment made by Ray Johnson, who was the director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, was that it must have been a horrible time for the people, because people must have felt scared, people must have felt disgusted. It was a very unpleasant time. What he felt, that is the way the people would have felt also. The family that had ruled for centuries was coming to an end. So gradually it was apparent that there was a decline, and the deterioration was an indication that this dynasty was going to come to an end. And then Akhenaten went a little wacky. Wacky means funny, amusing in an odd way, because of all the practices that he followed. So that was how the people felt distressed during his time. After Akhenaten's death, a mysterious ruler named Smenkhare appeared briefly and exited with hardly a trace. So after his rule came to an end, the next ruler to ascend the throne was Smenkhare for a short while, not for a very long time, and exited. That means there were no major achievements to his credit. Not much is known about him. So And then came King Tut. And then a very young Tutankhaten took the throne. King Tut, as he is widely known today. And after Smenkhare, the next to become the ruler, the next to become the king or the pharaoh was King Tut. The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun, the living image of Amun. So, the first thing that he did was, as soon as he became the king, he changed his name, and which means the living image of Amun, and oversaw. And this is a restoration of the old ways. That is, he brought in the return, something which had discontinued. The practice of the worship of Amun had discontinued. So he brought back, restored that, brought that back into practice. And he reigned for 9 years. For about 9 years he was a ruler, and then died unexpectedly. But the cause of his death was not known. So he was extremely young when he ascended the throne, and he ruled for about 9 years and then died unexpectedly. That means people did not know. It was an untimely death. The cause of his death was not known. Regardless of his fame and the speculations about his fate, Tut is one mummy among many in Egypt. Now, his mummy is one of the mummies. His mummy was not the only one. There were many others also. So, but yes, of course, his mummy was famous. Speculation means to form a theory of opinion or theory or opinion without evidence. So, he says, no one knows exactly how many did they find. The Egyptian Mummy Project, which began an inventory in late 2003. So, this Egyptian Mummy Project, a project handling these mummies, an inventory means a complete list, prepared a list of the mummies that they found and the contents, has recorded almost 600 so far and is still counting. So they are still on the lookout, but so far 600 such mummies have they found. The next phase, scanning the mummies. So one is they prepared a list of the mummies that they found, and then the next step, the next phase, this next stage was to scan the mummies with a portable CT machine donated by the National Geographical Society and Siemens, its manufacturer. So, after the list has been prepared, then the next step was, the next phase was of scanning. King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned, in death as in life, moving regally ahead of his countrymen. Now, this is important to know and to understand that he was one of the youngest kings. He was one of the youngest people, one of the youngest kings in ancient Egypt. But now also his mummy was ahead of his countrymen. That is one of the first mummies to be scanned. That means in life he was ahead of the others in the sense that he became a king at an extremely young age as a young boy. But after death also, in life, in death as in life, moving regally ahead of his countrymen. Regally means royal. Ahead of his countrymen, that means his mummy was one of the first mummies to be scanned. So both in life and in death, he has remained ahead of his countrymen. Thank you.